right, let's look at another example. So again, we have three linear equations. We have this function defined when x is less than -2, when x is 2, and when x is greater than -2. So we're going to do a table of values again. So if we make a table of values for our first one, we've got our x's and our y's, and we're always going to start at this defined value. So -2, we're going to plug into our equation. So I have -5/2 times -2 minus 2. So here, -5/2 times -2, really that's -2/1. If you multiply straight across, you get 10/2, which is 5, and then 5 minus 2 is going to give us 3. So we need this first point. That's going to be an open circle because it's a less than, not less than or equal to. So we are going to go -2, 3, and we're going to put an open circle. Then we want less than, so we're going to take values smaller. But when we plug in a -3, most of you are not going to like this because it's going to end up with a fractional answer. So here's where you can do something different in this case, because this case we have a line, and in this line we have a slope. And the slope of this line here is the -5/2. So since we know the slope, we can go back to our point that we just put on the graph and we can count this slope. Because it's negative, it needs to be going downhill. So if I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm going to go left 2. And I'm going to put a point on my graph. Now I have 2 points, so I can connect those points. And we're going to make a line that's going to go forever in that direction with an arrow on the end because it says less than -2. So that means everything less than -2 is going to be defined for that first thing. For the second thing, sort of unique and probably confusing, it just says if x is -2. It says if x is -2, then f of x, which is another way to say y, is -1. So it's just going to be a point at -2, -1. Right? The last one is defined for when x is greater than -2. So when x is greater than -2, we need to make another table of values. We're always going to start with that defined value, -2. It's just that it's going to be an open circle. So we have the opposite of -2, -5, which is 2 minus 5 gives me a -3. So I'm going to have -2, -3 is going to have an open circle on my graph. Then I need numbers bigger than -2, so I could choose -1 and I can choose 0 and plug it in. Or I could look at my equation, and my equation says that I have a slope of -1. So I could go to my graph, and instead of plugging in values, I could just count the slope. So I need to go down 1 over 1, and then down 1 over 1 again, and down 1 and over 1, and down 1 and over 1, because this is defined for every value greater than -2. So this doesn't really have a stopping point. So we're going to draw this line, and it's going to connect all of these dots, and it also is going to have an arrow on that end.